The sky above Zarathia burned red as streaks of fire tore across the horizon. Cities that once sparkled with life were now fractured, smoke rising in twisted columns that made the air hard to breathe. The people of Zarathia had never faced anything like this. Their technology was advanced, but it was designed for peace, not war. And now, against a relentless enemy that seemed to know no mercy, they were struggling to survive. Ilaran, a young Zarathian engineer, crouched behind the remains of a collapsed building. His hands shook as he tried to repair a communication device. He had been working for hours, but every attempt seemed futile. The device needed to send a message beyond their planet, a call for help, if only someone would answer. Above him, the sky roared with the sound of alien ships, black and sleek, dropping bombs and firing lasers indiscriminately. Screams filled the streets. Families ran, carrying what little they could salvage. Eleron's mind raced as he thought of his sister Mara, somewhere in the chaos. He hoped she was safe. Finally, after several failed attempts, the communicator flickered to life. Eleron's hands flew over the controls as he activated the long-range signal. "Attention, all beings in the galaxy," he began, his voice trembling. "Zarathia is under attack. We are defenseless, please. We need aid." He didn't know if anyone would hear. They had sent calls before for minor emergencies, for supplies, but never for something as catastrophic as this. He pressed the transmit button, hoping, praying that someone would respond. Half a light year away, in the calm but bustling command center of Earth's Interstellar Council, the signal appeared. Lieutenant Commander Adrian Hale, a young but respected human admiral, leaned forward, eyes narrowing at the monitor. He could hear the alien's plea filled with fear and desperation. He listened carefully, noting the technology, the urgency, the desperation. Humans had encountered signals from other worlds before, but this was different. "Council," he said, standing and addressing the room. "This is not a simple request for supplies. They are on the brink of annihilation. We cannot ignore this." A senior official, seated at the head of the table, frowned. "Admiral, I understand your concern, but sending a fleet could escalate tensions. We don't know who their attackers are or if this is a trap." Hale shook his head firmly. "This is a peaceful species, highly intelligent but defenseless in this scenario. We have the capacity to help, not just with supplies, but with strategic intervention. If we do nothing, they will be wiped out. We cannot let that happen." A heated debate erupted in the council chamber. Some members argued that risking human lives in an unknown war was too dangerous. Others feared political repercussions if they interfered. But Hale persisted, showing data analysis and simulations of what Zarathia could become if abandoned. He emphasized human ingenuity, strategy, and the capacity to act decisively. Finally, after long deliberation, the Council made a decision that would shock the galaxy. They authorized the full deployment of the Earth Defense Fleet, a fleet of hundreds of ships equipped not only for rescue, but for battle. It was more than anyone expected. Back on Zarathia, Ilaran and the surviving citizens had begun to lose hope. The enemy warlord, a brutal being named Kelthar, pressed his advantage relentlessly. Entire districts had been destroyed. The alien soldiers, though brave, were no match for his advanced tactics. Civilians hid wherever they could, praying that help would come, but deep down they feared they were alone. Suddenly, sensors in the sky registered an unfamiliar presence. At first, Eleron thought it was another wave of attacks, but as the ships drew closer, their markings were unmistakable. These were human ships, sleek, massive, and organized, moving with precision that spoke of discipline and experience. The Zarathians stared in disbelief. The human fleet was enormous, larger than any force they had imagined. Ships glided into orbit, deploying drones to scan the planet's surface, analyzing the enemy positions and the damaged cities. For the first time, the citizens felt hope. They could not believe that humans had come not with a single transport, but with an entire fleet. Admiral Hale's flagship hovered above the main city. He activated a transmission to the ground. "People of Zarathia," his voice echoed firm and confident. "We are here to help. Stay calm, we will protect you." Eleron's hands shook as he relayed the message to others. The citizens gathered, looking up at the sky. Some cried tears of relief, others cheered, their voices rising above the chaos. It was a moment they had never thought they would see. A human fleet, a force they had only heard about in stories, was here for them. Kelthar, the enemy warlord, noticed the sudden shift in the battle. His forces hesitated, confused by the unexpected arrival. No one had ever predicted that humans would not only respond but respond with full force. He clenched his claws in frustration. "How is this possible?" he growled. "They should have sent a single ship. One, not an entire armada." The humans moved swiftly. Troops deployed from orbit, landing at strategic locations to protect civilians and block enemy advances. Advanced drones repaired damaged buildings, created temporary shelters, and provided medical aid. The aliens, inspired by human bravery and efficiency, began to fight alongside them. Even the most hopeless soldiers found new courage in the face of such unwavering support. Adrian Hale walked through the city with his team, observing and coordinating the efforts. He noticed a group of alien children trapped in the rubble of a collapsed school. Without hesitation, he directed a rescue team to free them. Eleran watched in awe as humans worked with precision and care, lifting debris, tending to injuries, and comforting the frightened children. The human fleet's presence changed the dynamics of the battle. Kelthar's forces, once confident and merciless, found themselves facing organized resistance. Humans did not just defend, they pushed back using clever tactics, surprise attacks, and superior coordination. The warlord's strategy, designed to overwhelm weaker civilizations, faltered against the humans' adaptability. During a brief pause in the fighting, Eleran approached Admiral Hale. We did not expect this," he admitted. "We thought maybe one ship, maybe supplies, not an entire fleet. Your arrival has changed everything." Hale smiled, though his face was grim from the ongoing battle. "Humans don't send just help. We send commitment. We don't leave people behind, especially those who need us. Your survival matters to us." Eleran felt a surge of gratitude and admiration. The humans were unlike any allies Zarathia had known. They were not just capable, they were courageous, bold, and unafraid to take risks for what was right. As night fell, the sky lit up with controlled bursts of energy as human ships targeted enemy strongholds. Fires raged in the distance, but this time they were fires of resistance, not destruction. The citizens of Zarathia could see the difference. Humans were not here to conquer. They were here to save, to protect, and to fight alongside them. In a hidden bunker, Kelthar seethed. His plan had been flawless until now. "These humans," he hissed, "they are not what I expected. They fight with courage, with cunning. This is not over. I will not let us be defeated so easily." But even he could not ignore the rising morale among the Zarathians. For the first time in days, they dared to hope. The enemy could no longer intimidate them as easily, because humans had shown them that fear could be met with strength, intelligence, and determination. Eleran looked around at his people, seeing their faces lit by the glow of the human ships above. He thought of his sister still somewhere in the city and felt a flicker of hope. With humans here, they had a chance. They were not alone. Admiral Hale addressed the fleet over a secure channel. "Tonight we hold the line. Tomorrow we strike back. The people of Zarathia will survive, and their enemies will learn that humans do not abandon those in need." The humans worked through the night, repairing, defending, and inspiring. Their presence was not just tactical, it was symbolic. To the citizens of Zarathia, the fleet represented courage, hope, and an unwavering promise that they would not be left to suffer alone. As the first light of dawn touched the scarred cities, the enemy forces hesitated, unsure how to respond to this unexpected resistance. Humans and aliens moved together with precision, forming defenses, evacuating civilians, and preparing for a counterattack. Eleran stood on a hill overlooking the city. The battle was far from over, but for the first time he felt a sense of safety. The humans had changed everything. They had arrived not just to help, but to lead, to protect, and to fight with the kind of bravery that inspired even the most desperate to hope again. He whispered a silent thanks to the stars, knowing that this was only the beginning. Humanity had come, not with a single act of aid, but with a force strong enough to turn the tide of war. And for Zarathia, that was a difference between despair and survival. The first light of Zarathia's sun revealed a world scarred by war, but alive with determination. Where yesterday there had been fear and despair, now there was hope. The human fleet hovered above, ships glinting in the sunlight, a constant reminder to the aliens that they were not alone. Eleran moved carefully through the streets, checking on families and injured citizens. The humans had set up medical stations, but He couldn't help feeling responsible for doing his part as well. Everywhere he looked, he saw the results of human strategy. Barricades that actually held, energy shields protecting vulnerable districts, and small squads of human soldiers moving among the citizens, guiding and encouraging them. Admiral Hale stood on the deck of his flagship overseeing operations. Despite the constant threat of enemy attack, he remained calm, his presence reassuring not only to the humans but to the Zerathians. His mind raced with strategies, but he also took time to observe the small victories. Children reunited with parents, alien engineers repairing collapsed buildings with human assistance, and soldiers learning new tactics inspired by human ingenuity. These moments mattered as much as the battles themselves. Kael'thar, the enemy warlord, had retreated to a fortified position outside the city. His forces were regrouping, but their morale had dropped sharply. The humans had demonstrated something unexpected. Not just advanced technology, but boldness, teamwork, and courage. The warlord's calculations had not accounted for the human way of fighting. Dynamic, unpredictable, and fearless. "Prepare the fleet," Kael'thar growled to his lieutenants. "These humans are unlike any race we have faced. They are reckless, yet effective. We must not underestimate them again. This is a war we cannot afford to lose." Back in the city, the citizens of Zerathia began to take on new roles. With human guidance, alien soldiers learned advanced defense strategies. Engineers and builders worked side by side, erecting stronger barriers and repairing energy generators. Even ordinary citizens found ways to contribute, from relaying messages to supplying food and water. The humans had not just brought strength, they had inspired unity. Eleran and a small group of humans prepared for a reconnaissance mission near the enemy lines. They needed information about Kael'thar's movements and defenses. The air was tense, but the human soldiers moved with confidence, their drills and training evident in every step. Eleran felt both nervous and excited. He had never imagined fighting alongside humans, let alone learning from them. The mission took them through rocky terrain, scarred by recent skirmishes. Human drones flew ahead, mapping the enemy positions in real time. The team advanced cautiously, avoiding detection while gathering critical intelligence. Eleran couldn't help but admire their precision and coordination. Humans communicated almost silently, using gestures and signals that were seamless and efficient. Suddenly, a squad of Kael'thar's scouts appeared ahead. Without hesitation, the humans executed a quick ambush, using non-lethal tactics to incapacitate the enemy and collect information. Eleran watched in awe as the aliens were subdued with minimum effort and maximum efficiency. "How do they do that?" he whispered to one of the soldiers. "Training, teamwork, and thinking ahead," the soldier replied. "Humans survive by adapting. We don't wait for luck. We create it." Returning to the city, the team delivered their intelligence to Admiral Hale. The information revealed weak points in Kael'thar's defenses and allowed the humans to plan a counterattack that was precise, bold, and designed to minimize civilian casualties. For the first time, the Zerathians felt they could fight back effectively. The human fleet moved in a coordinated strike. Ships dropped supplies and energy reinforcements while smaller units provided cover for advancing alien soldiers. On the ground, humans and aliens fought side by side, their combined tactics overwhelming the enemy forces. Kael'thar's troops were skilled, but they had never faced a united front like this. Every move the humans made seemed unpredictable, strategic, and perfectly timed. Eleran found himself in the midst of a battle. He carried supplies to frontline soldiers, dodging blasts and debris, and feeling the adrenaline of survival and purpose. Humans moved through the battlefield with calm determination, guiding the aliens, neutralizing threats, and protecting civilians caught in crossfire. Every human action seemed to inspire those around them. As Kael'thar realized his troops were faltering, he ordered a retreat, but the humans anticipated it. Advanced sensors and drones cut off escape routes, forcing the warlord's army into controlled engagements where human and alien forces could systematically neutralize them. Eleran watched in disbelief as the humans executed maneuvers that seemed impossible, yet perfectly logical in execution. By nightfall, the battle had shifted dramatically. The once overwhelming enemy was now in full retreat. Zerathia's citizens emerged cautiously from hiding, seeing that the humans had not only held the line, they had turned the tide. The city was battered but intact, its people alive and more united than ever. Admiral Hale walked through the recovering districts alongside Alarin and other Zarathian leaders. They observed human engineers restoring power grids, soldiers helping rebuild homes, and medical teams treating the injured. The humans' impact extended beyond battle. They were reshaping the future of Zarathia. Alarin approached Hale, a mixture of gratitude and amazement in his voice. "You didn't just send help. You changed everything for us. We feared we were alone, but now I feel we can survive anything." Hale smiled, a rare moment of warmth in a war-torn world. Humans don't just respond to requests. We commit, we act, and we believe in those who cannot fight alone. Zarathia has courage, and we only helped bring it to the surface. Across the planet, small celebrations began. Fires were lit not as destruction, but as signals of survival and hope. People shared food, repaired homes, and reunited with loved ones. The presence of humans had inspired confidence, proving that even in the darkest hour, bravery and solidarity could prevail. Kelthar, in his retreat, realized that this was no ordinary battle. His forces had been humbled not by sheer force, but by a combination of intelligence, courage, and unexpected solidarity. Humans were not just warriors, they were catalysts for unity and change. He seethed, knowing that he could not underestimate them again. The next day, humans and Zarathians worked together to secure the planet. Supply lines were established, defensive systems strengthened, and training programs set up for local soldiers. The humans shared tactics, technology, and knowledge, ensuring that Zarathia would be able to defend itself in the future. Elleran took part in every step, amazed at how humans thought ahead, planning not only for victory but for lasting stability. Children who had witnessed the arrival of the human fleet were now eager to learn, inspired by what they saw. Elder leaders spoke of the humans' courage and commitment, spreading tales of the fleet that arrived when hope seemed lost. Zarathia was not just surviving, it was learning, adapting, and growing stronger. Hale addressed the Zarathian Council formally, explaining the long-term vision. "We will remain until you are fully capable of defending yourselves. This is not occupation. This is partnership. Humans are not here to dominate, but to ensure that no one underestimates the value of life and courage." Alarin felt a surge of pride. He had always dreamed of contributing to his people, but never imagined humans could elevate their efforts so dramatically. Their combination of strategy, compassion, and courage had transformed Zarathia's future. In a symbolic gesture, the humans helped organize a protective shield around the planet's capital, demonstrating both defense and care. The citizens watched as human ships patrolled the skies, drones monitoring for any lingering threats. It was a display not of power for intimidation, but of reassurance, showing that Zarathia's safety was the humans' priority. Weeks passed, and the bond between humans and Zarathians grew stronger. Joint training programs ensured that the aliens could defend themselves, while human forces remained vigilant. The citizens rebuilt homes, repaired infrastructure, and began to dream again. Kelthar, meanwhile, was forced to report his failure to his superiors. The humans had arrived unexpectedly, defeated a superior force, and inspired an entire planet to stand with them. For him, it was a humiliating lesson in underestimating humans. Their ability to coordinate, adapt, and inspire unity was unlike anything he had encountered. As Alarin watched the sun set over a recovering city, he felt a quiet awe. The humans had not only saved their lives, they had changed the way Zarathians would view the galaxy forever. He thought of his sister, of the people he had feared would perish, and realized that humanity's arrival had given them not just protection, but hope. Admiral Hale, standing beside him, nodded toward the horizon. "This is just the beginning. The galaxy has many challenges, but humans will always act where they can make a difference. We fight not for glory, but because it is the right thing to do." Elleran smiled, understanding fully now what he had witnessed. Humans were not just capable, they were extraordinary. They had arrived when all hope seemed lost, and through courage, strategy, and compassion, they had changed the course of Zarathia's history forever. As night fell, stars glittered above a planet scarred but alive, a world that had been saved not by